This is a discussion on your demyelination disorders of the neurologic system. So when we speak of demyelination, this literally means the damage to the myelin sheath. When we speak of neurons class or your basic functional unit of the brain or of the nervous system, they're actually enclosed or encased by a fatty substance called your myelin. So the myelin is that fatty substance which encloses or covers your neurons. No? So to imagine that, no, it's just like an electrical wire. So if this is your electrical wire, for example, the sheet that covers the copper wire is exactly your myelin sheath. Okay. So your myelin is responsible for two things. Number one, it acts as a protection. It covers your neurons. Okay? It encases or it houses your neurons. And another function of the myelin is that it plays an important role in relaying electrical impulses. So they relay impulses. They play an important participation in the relay of your impulses. However, class, there are certain conditions which can cause damage to your myelin. And most commonly, damage to your myelin is attributable to an autoimmune condition. Again, when we speak of an autoimmune condition, this refers to a condition where the body's immune system, instead of protecting the body, attacks the body. Okay? So, an autoimmune condition could cause damage to your myelin. And we call this condition as demyelination. And because of the loss of myelin, what do you think would happen to its function in terms of covering the neurons? What would happen to its function in terms of relaying impulses? So mawala po na siya, class. Meaning to say, kung maguba ang imuhang myelin, maguba po ang imuhang covering. And because the neurons have no more coverings, it exposes neurons to risk for infections. Okay? That's why a patient with demyelination disorder is at risk for developing meningitis. Nga daw itong meningitis, kay wala na may covering ang imuhang myelin. Wala na may covering ang imuhang neurons. Okay? Abli naman siya. On the aspect of the role of your myelin to relay impulses, so kung maguba ang imuhang myelin, then there will now be a delay in the relay of impulses. And this delay in the relay of impulses can affect either your CNS or your PNS. CNS, which refers to your brain and your spinal cord, while the PNS refers to your cranial nerves and as well as your spinal nerves. So, ang pag-transmit sa impulses to the brain and from the brain to the effector cells or to the effector neurons are delayed, and also the transmission of impulses to the PNS and from the PNS going to the effector neurons, delayed po siya. Okay? And this delay in the impulse transmission at the level of the CNS is what we call as multiple sclerosis. On the other hand, this delay in the relay of impulses attributable to the damage in your myelin sheath, no, will lead to a condition called your Guillain-Barré syndrome. Okay? So let's try to distinguish now what's the difference between multiple sclerosis and your Guillain-Barré. Okay? So let's begin with multiple sclerosis. So again, multiple sclerosis class refers to that condition where the myelin sheath, which covers the neurons, have been damaged by an autoimmune condition. Your multiple sclerosis, from the word itself, MS or miss, are common among females. Okay? And they are also common among pregnant women. Okay? And the common age affected by multiple sclerosis ranges from age 20 to 40 years old. Okay, so common sa babae, sa mabdos, and they are usually manifested at the age of 20 to 40 years old. Your multiple sclerosis class is found to begin or to start with a viral infection. So magsugod siya og viral infection, but later on, as it progresses, no, as it progresses, it comes out to actually be an autoimmune condition. Meaning to say, before pa man manifest ang mga autoimmune problems nimo leading to MS, there had been series or history of a viral infection earlier in life. Okay? So the early stages of the development of multiple sclerosis begins with a viral infection and later on develops to become an autoimmune condition. And this viral infection and later on an autoimmune condition could lead to sclerosis. Mo nang gitawag siya og multiple sclerosis. Kay naa kay mga sclerosis or naa kay mga plaques dito sa imuhang myelin sheath. Ang katong mga myelin sheath nga nangatangtang nailisan na to siya og kubal. Nailisan na to siya plaques, nailisan na to siya og mga sclerosis. So, because na naka-sclerosis or plaques on the supposed myelin, this would lead to interruption in the transmission of impulses. Okay? Interruption or nanakay-delay in the flow of your nerve impulses. And these interruptions, no, are characterized to be in a descending pattern. Okay? Meaning to say, the symptoms of a patient with multiple sclerosis are descending. So meaning, ang earlier stage of multiple sclerosis begins at the upper parts of the body and the later stage of multiple sclerosis, no, finally ends with those in the lower extremity. So panaog. So di man ka makalimot, anak class, anang multiple sclerosis nga descending siya because you have letter MS. MS meaning mula superior. Okay? From the superior. Mula superior going inferior. So mula superior or descending ang imuhang paralysis. Okay? So, how does this appear? So, it first begins, class, with symptoms in the eyes. Okay? Descending, ha? So, let's begin first with symptoms in the eyes. So, what are those eye manifestations that we could probably see in patients with multiple sclerosis? Pwede kang makanotice nga naa siya'y nystagmus. Unsa man na siyang nystagmus? Nystagmus refers to the jerking movement of the eyes. Or in Bisaya, ang imuhang mata, mura ka og nagkirig-kirig. Okay? So the jerking movement of the eye. Involuntary jerking movement of the eye. Usahay pod ang imuhang eyes mo manifest og diplopia. So diplopia literally means double vision. Okay? And pwede sad kag naay scotoma. You could manifest scotoma. Unsa man na siyang scotoma? Scotoma refers to blind spots in the eye. So if you see the whole field like this, and there is one portion in your vision na wa kay makita, blind spot, then that is what we call as scotoma. Okay? So nystagmus, diplopia, and scotoma are the ophthalmic manifestations of a patient with multiple sclerosis. And they are the early symptoms of MS. Kay descending man, gikan ibabaw, mula superior, panaog ang imuhang symptoms. So meaning to say, the key to determining whether ni progress ang imuhang multiple sclerosis is on the basis of the descending symptoms. So nagsugod sa mata, panaog sa chest, padulong sa tiil. So that those symptoms at the feet are the late symptoms of multiple sclerosis. Okay. So gikan sa mata, let's say ni progress na ang imuhang multiple sclerosis. Munaog na siya, class, dito sa imuhang neck. So what is that next symptom that we might see in patients with multiple sclerosis? Pwede siyang mo-develop, class, of dysphagia. Sa gani na siyang dysphagia, this refers to your difficulty in swallowing. Okay? There is difficulty in swallowing. Now, if you are the nurse of a patient with neck symptoms, no, with dysphagia, what would be that thing that you should watch out for? You should monitor the patient for possible aspiration. So naagani kay dysphagia, you should monitor the patient or take care of the patient with aspiration precaution. So what are those that we need to do? No, kung naatay aspiration precaution, kinahanglan no, we only give no, we only administer to our patients those that are thickened liquids. So thickened liquids in the sense nga mura kag mohatag og let's say honey, no? Pwede ka mohatag og honey consistency. So you should for a while. You should thicken the liquids. Okay? Aside from thickening the liquids, what else should you do? You should also assist the patient in swallowing. Every time mo swallow siya, tabangan nimo ang patient nga mo flex sa iyahang neck. Okay? You assist the patient in flexing his neck every time mo swallow siya. And how should you position the patient to prevent aspiration? He should be placed in a high Fowler's position. So dili pwede nga flat ang imong pasyente no kay delikado ang imong pasyente basin unya aspirate. So dapat the patient must be in a high Fowler's position. Okay? So now, aside from the neck, asa pa may symptoms sa imong patient? So gikan sa eyes, padulong sa neck, then now you progress towards the chest. So unsa may mga manifestations sa imong patient with multiple sclerosis? Your patients could have pulmonary problems, respiratory problems, and it could also have cardiac problems. Okay? So your patient may manifest respiratory depression, or your patient may manifest pulmonary depression, and also cardiac arrhythmias or cardiac problems. Okay? So from the chest, if the condition progresses, it goes now to your abdomen. So gikan sa mata, padung sa liog, padulong sa chest, padulong sa abdomen. And what would be the manifestations of the patient sa iyahang abdomen? You would have bowel, and you may also have bladder incontinence. Okay? So there will be an effect on the GIT and the GUT of the patient. There is loss of bowel and bladder control, and you call that class as your bowel and bladder incontinences. Then from the abdomen, it progresses now to your legs. And take note, this is now the late sign of a patient with multiple sclerosis, considering that multiple sclerosis is a descending paralysis. So in the legs, you would notice that your patient would manifest ataxia. Kung sa ganina siyang ataxia, this is characterized by clumsy movements and the loss of ability to maintain proper balance. Okay? And we know that when there is a manifestation in the loss of balance, this most likely has an impact on what portion of the brain? Your cerebellum. Because we remember that cerebellum is cerebalance. Okay? So to summarize, class, your symptoms of patient with multiple sclerosis begins from the eyes to the neck, to the chest, to the abdomen, to the legs in a pattern described to be descending. So how do we remember descending? Mula superior. Okay? Mula sa taas. Mula superior going inferior. Okay? Now, what is the hallmark of manifestation of a patient with multiple sclerosis? Number one, class, they develop your scanning speech. Okay? So ang ilahang sinultian is scanning. Meaning to say, when they speak in syllabications, no? They divide the words into various syllables with pauses in between. Example, you say beautiful, no? Normally you say beautiful. So when you have a scanning speech, you say it this way, beautiful. Oh, so naakay gap or pauses in between, and words are cut into various syllables. Okay? Aside from scanning speech, you also have intentional tremors. Unsa man na siyang intentional tremors? Tremors are involuntary shaking movements of the hands. So nagkurog imong kamot, no? Nagani-ani imong kamot, and it's involuntary. Okay? If the tremors occur while you are at rest, you call it resting tremors. But when tremors occur during purposeful movements, you call it intentional tremors. Example, if I am just talking right now and you see my hand shaking like this, you call this as resting tremors. But when tremors occur every time I do purposeful movement, like for example, I am supposed to pick up this pen and my hands are shaking in taking this pen, we call it as intentional tremors. No? In simple terms, basta ang kurog during a purposeful or intended activity, intentional. Okay? Pero kung ang kurog occurs while you are at rest, we call it as resting tremors. So which of these two kinds of tremors is a manifestation of a patient with multiple sclerosis? The answer is intentional tremors. Okay? Then number 3, okay? You also have nystagmus. So you see, class, no, that a patient with multiple sclerosis has a SIN. Okay? It's SIN. This is the hallmark of a patient with multiple sclerosis. They have a SIN. Okay? Scanning, intentional tremors, and nystagmus. And SIN is what you call as your Charcot's triad. Okay? And these are the symptoms of a patient with multiple sclerosis. Now you may ask, how is multiple sclerosis diagnosed? Well, the most common diagnostic test for multiple sclerosis is MRI. And on the MRI, we would be able to see the different portions of the neurons which actually has demyelination. Makita na to ang mga sclerosis dito sa imuhang neurons during an MRI. And when a patient has multiple sclerosis, how do we manage that? Number 1, no? Because this is an autoimmune condition, what medication do you expect? You expect them to be given steroids. Okay? Unsa man ang mga example of steroids? You have your hydrocortisone. Okay? You also have your beta-methasone. Okay? You also have your dexamethasone. Okay? Senzone or Friendzone. Okay, so these are your examples of steroids. Okay, copy? Hydrocortisone, betamethasone, dexamethasone, Senzone, and Friendzone. Gilista ninyo. Wanay apel ha. Okay. Aside from steroids, what else do you expect to give? You give muscle relaxants. Examples of muscle relaxants, you have your baclofen. Okay? Baclofen, or you have your Flexeril. Okay? Flexeril. Okay? These are examples of muscle relaxants. And because there is problems in gait, balance, or movement, then you must offer assistive devices to the patients. Okay? Give assistive devices. Then for your respiratory problems or depression, you can give your bronchodilators. Okay? Give one example of bronchodilator. You have your salbutamol, your terbutaline. No? So those are examples. Okay? And remember also, class, that when a patient has multiple sclerosis, you should avoid hot bath. Nga naman, sir, nga nung dili man pwede maligo og init tubig ang imuhang patient with multiple sclerosis? Simply because in multiple sclerosis, there is a delay in the relay of electrical impulses. So sensation could be affected. Pwedeng mapaso ang imong pasyente because it could not determine fully well whether init ba yun ang tubig nga iyahang gigamit, or it is not too hot or it's too hot, simply because, again, there's a problem in the relay of these impulses. Okay? So, class, this is our discussion on multiple sclerosis, the first component of your demyelination disorder. Demyelination disorder also, this is a continuation on our discussion on demyelination disorder. So we are now on the second condition of demyelination. This condition, class, is known as your Guillain-Barré syndrome. So when we speak of Guillain-Barré syndrome, so just the same class, this is a condition in which the myelin sheath, no, that covers the neurons of the peripheral nervous system this time, no, has been damaged. No? So we call it as demyelination or the damage to the myelin sheath. In your Guillain-Barré syndrome, unlike your multiple sclerosis, which is common among MS, no, among miss or women, your GBS is common among girls and boys, just the same. So if you look at that, that's GBS, girls, boys, the same. So the incidence of Guillain-Barré is not affected by gender. So the incidences in males and females are just the same insofar as Guillain-Barré is concerned. But then again, sa imuhang multiple sclerosis, since you have a miss there, no, MS, then they are common among females. And the age, no, which are commonly affected by your Guillain-Barré syndrome ranges from age 30 years old to 50 years old. So what could have caused your Guillain-Barré syndrome? It is just the same with your multiple sclerosis where it is caused by an autoimmune condition. So that's one, no? Autoimmune condition. Parehas na sila ni multiple sclerosis. But sa GBS, naapod tayo second cause class, no? And the second cause is an infection. And when we speak of infection, this infection refers to a GIT infection, gastrointestinal tract, or a respiratory infection. Okay? So the infection that is a prelude to Guillain-Barré pertains to a GIT infection or a respiratory infection, and the causative agent of which is a Campylobacter jejuni. Okay? So Campylobacter jejuni. Okay? So just think of Campylobacter jejemon, no? So Campylobacter jejuni. So whether an autoimmune condition or whether caused by an infection, the impact that it does to the myelin sheath is to cause sclerosis or damage onto it, such that whenever there is damage, specifically the damage is focused on the peripheral nervous system. So the peripheral nervous system, no, is comprised of your cranial nerves, 12 kabuok, and your spinal nerves, nga 31 kabuok. So when the PNS, the myelin sheath of the PNS are damaged, what would be the effect of these to the body? Okay? The moment it gets damaged, class, there will now be symptoms of paralysis. And the paralysis in Guillain-Barré is characterized by an ascending paralysis. So makita nimo ang glaring difference sa multiple sclerosis o sa Guillain-Barré. Sa multiple sclerosis, descending ang paralysis, pababa. MS, mula superior going inferior. Ang Guillain-Barré, galing baba, no? So GB, galing baba pataas, galing baba to superior. So ascending paralysis. Meaning to say, class, the symptoms of a patient with Guillain-Barré, ang early symptoms niya are the late symptoms of multiple sclerosis. And the early symptoms of multiple sclerosis now becomes the late symptoms of Guillain-Barré. Okay? So, ang symptoms nimo sa GBS ranges from early going to late. So, since this is an ascending paralysis, okay, the early symptoms begins with those in the legs. So, gikan baba, galing baba. So, from the legs, and then you know that the condition is progressing because the symptoms, the late symptoms are now focused on the face, such that your patient will manifest facial paralysis. So, unsa man ang mga symptoms sa legs sa patient? Your patient will develop ataxia. Unsa ganina siyang ataxia? This is your clumsy limb, no? Your loss of balance, ataxia, okay? Then you can have paralysis. Okay? paralysis of the legs. So galing baba, then pasaka, isaka siya, it now goes to your GIT and your GUT, meaning there is now loss of bowel and bladder control. And then from the abdomen, you rise to the chest, such that the symptoms of pulmonary and heart conditions now becomes manifest. Then from the chest, you now go to the neck. So you develop dysphagia or difficulty in swallowing. And from dysphagia, you now reach the face, where there is now facial paralysis. And this is the late symptom of GBS na naka sa ibabaw because the symptoms are ascending. Okay? So how do we determine how do we diagnose GBS? So parihara class. So to diagnose GBS, we do MRI and we will see demyelination on the neurons in the PNS. Kung sa multiple sclerosis, we see demyelination on the neurons in the CNS. Okay? And as to management, of your GBS, the same ra gihapon sila with your multiple sclerosis, such that we are expected to give bronchodilators, we're expected to give steroids for autoimmune conditions, or kung infection ang cause, we can give antibiotics, we can give muscle relaxants like your baclofen, no? We can also give pulmonary supports, no, in cases of respiratory depression. Okay? And just the same, dili po dyan sila pwede mag-hot bath. Ngano? Because of the delay in impulses, they may not be able to determine, no, nga init na di ay itong tubig nga ilang gigamit sa ilahang pagkaligo. Okay? So that ends our discussion on Guillain-Barré syndrome, a second condition falling under demyelination.